Hello there, I am Bolanle Udueku Ayola, and here is your Wells Television Daily News Updates for today, the 1st of October 2025. President Bola Tinubu today, in his address commemorating Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary, has reflected on the nation's journey from colonial rule to its current position as a leader in Africa. The president paid tribute to founding fathers and nationalists who envisioned a strong, united Nigeria, stating that while challenges have tested the nation's resolve, significant progress has been made in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and economic growth. President Tinubu highlighted Nigeria's transformation from just 2 tertiary institutions in 1960 to hundreds today, and emphasized improvements in security, national unity, and economic stability, despite past adversities such as civil war and dictatorship. Reviewing his administration's reforms since May 2023, President Tinubu reported that critical changes such as ending fuel subsidies, unifying exchange rate, and redirecting funds to core sectors are already yielding tangible results. The U.S. Embassy in Nigeria says it's business as usual for visa and passport services, even as the U.S. government faces a partial shutdown. In a statement posted on its official X account, the embassy confirmed that scheduled consular services will continue as the situation permits. However, they noted that their social media updates will be limited to urgent safety and security information until full government funding is restored. This reassurance comes as many Nigerians voiced concerns that the shutdown in Washington could derail travel plans, including student visas. The shutdown, triggered by a funding standoff between President Donald Trump and lawmakers, has halted several U.S. government departments. While essential services like the military, mail, and welfare programs continue, up to 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed without pay. Nigerians are encouraged to visit travel.state.gov for the latest on visa and passport services. The Director General of NAPTIP, that's the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Binta Adamu Bello, revealed that Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, is increasingly being used by human traffickers. Leading a recent operation, Bello and her team rescued 24 victims aged 15 to 26, destined for countries like Iraq, Sudan, and Saudi Arabia, and arrested 5 suspected traffickers, including a retired senior law enforcement officer. Victims shared heartbreaking stories of deception, with some unaware of their true destinations. Bello condemned the traffickers and pledged to sustain efforts at the airport to stop this illicit trade. She also praised security agencies and airport officials for their support in protecting Nigerians from exploitation. Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army, working with NDLEA operatives, have arrested 2 fake policemen at Takum Junction in Taraba State. The suspects, dressed in mobile police uniforms, were caught with 2 Toyota Hilux vehicles loaded with 1,134 blocks of suspected cannabis. The drugs were traced from Akure in Ondo State, destined for Adamawa State. One suspect is a dismissed police ASP, Monday George, aged 71, while the other is identified as Ezeogo Destiny Uche, aged 41. The operation, which is part of the ongoing Operation Lafia Nakowa against criminals and bandits, saw 1 vehicle abandoned by fleeing suspects. The army has praised the teamwork with NDLEA and urged the public to keep sharing information to keep Taraba unsafe for criminals and traffickers. The suspects and the seized drugs have been handed over to the NDLEA for further investigation. South African opposition leader Julius Malema has been found guilty of violating firearm laws after a 2018 incident where he was filmed firing a rifle at a political rally. Leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Malema claimed the gun was a toy, but the court rejected his defense. His former bodyguard, charged alongside him, was acquitted, prompting Malema to accuse the magistrate of racism. Malema has vowed to appeal the ruling all the way to the Constitutional Court. He faces up to 15 years in prison with sentencing scheduled for January 23rd. Known for his controversial political stance, Malema remains a polarizing figure in South Africa, especially on issues like land expropriation and nationalization. And in sports, former Nigerian international Segun Odegbami says Nigeria's qualification for the 2026 World Cup is crucial for Africa to assert itself on the global stage. Speaking on the role of sports in global geopolitics, Odegbami emphasized that sports can challenge the dominance of superpowers and give Africa a respected seat at the world negotiation table. He called on stars like Victor Osimhen and Anthony Joshua to lead the charge, stressing that the united Africa must rise to demand equality and justice in international sports. With Nigeria's World Cup hopes hanging by a thread after a tough draw with South Africa, Odegbami urged the continent to revisit historic alliances and speak with one voice in this imagined new world order. Despite setbacks, he believes African nations must harness the power of sports to make a powerful geopolitical statement and celebrate freedom and equality for all. The Super Eagles now face must-win matches against Lesotho and Benin Republic to keep their World Cup dream alive. And that's it on the Wells Television Daily News Updates for today. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at Wells Television and on Facebook at Wells Television. Thank you for watching. God bless you.